6 figures for the whip.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, I'm Allie. Today I have a book video for you guys, and it's another romance era video. And this is going to be going on through February, so if you're new here, I hope you hit the subscribe button. I read quite a lot of different genres. I don't like to just stick to one thing, but since it is the month of love and Valentine's, I thought it would be really cool to invest a lot of time into a bunch of favorite romance, rom-com, and let me just tell you guys, it's really been taking me. I have been reading romance books for the past 3-4-ish months, and I'm just gonna say I am going to be having a sort of wrap-up video in a way, so stay tuned for that if you want to. Quite a few of the books I read during these 3-4 months are going to be mentioned in that video, but some of them are not going to be, for reasons you will find out very soon. But for this video and all of the romance, I have 3 rom-coms for you guys because this is a 3 books by part. It is a series I do where I read 3 books by the same author, and in this case it was another new author for me, and the author of the day is Hazelwood. Now, Hazelwood, I feel like, is a very hit or miss author for a lot of people. I think that a lot of people are very picky about her work, and I have to be honest, I found her quite intriguing. The fact that she herself is in STEM, and so all of her books that, I believe she's only written romance, but all of them are, I guess, somehow intertwined with STEM as well. And while I can see where someone might be like, oh, well, that's, you know, that would be kind of boring, or that would kind of be like repetitive in a way, like the books will kind of like all mesh together. I understand that to a certain level because so far I've read 2 books by her, so I'm checking in finally. I didn't with the first one, but I read it, and I actually read the first book from her. I went into it questioning, am I really going to enjoy this, or am I gonna be like the people that are just kind of like, I don't get the hype, you know? And it was kind of when I was first kind of dabbling into newer, modern romance in a way. So yeah, I was kind of testing the waters. It was back in November, and I read her newest, Love on the Brain. And I actually found myself just cheesing the entire time I read that book. Don't get me wrong, there is some critiques in a way where the writing of the characters kind of threw me off a little bit. She's a very visual writer. She really wants to form that picture for you guys of exactly how this person looks, where sometimes it feels like it's lacking in what that person is actually like on the inside, which kind of sucks, honestly, when it's a romance and you kind of want those, like, you know, those deep inner thoughts and everything. But at the same time, I also kind of felt like it was a little refreshing. Not saying I wanted to hear every single chapter, you know, how cute and little she is and how tall and masculine he is, but more so like I sometimes feel like authors will get too far invested to where they get so deep with the characters that it almost gets so unrealistic or just cringy, where I feel like with her type of writing, she pulls back a little bit on that and gives you a little bit, but I felt like what I loved the most from it was the fact that it's not just romance, and it really does involve a plot. Her book actually has a full-blown plot, and for Love on the Brain, it consists of 2 people who have had a run-in in the past, and it wasn't a great one, and it's kind of leaving the main character who you follow and have her perspective just kind of bitter towards him at first, and then slowly having to kind of get to know him and like him in a way because they're working on a project in STEM together, and it's a project for NASA, I believe. I will just say, I've already read the second book for this video, so I'm not gonna lie, I have really been liking the romance and STEM, you know, mix, but the 2 books kind of do collide just a little bit, and it's weird because I did read Love on the Brain in November, and then I read the next one in January. So I'm like, tried to give it a little bit of space so maybe they wouldn't mesh together, but they kind of did in a way. So that does kind of bum me out a little bit. But at the same time, I really did enjoy both of them. The first one just kind of took me a little bit of easing into it. But after I read it, I was just kind of like, okay, you know, it's cheesy in moments. There's some things that happen that are so predictable or kind of like unrealistic once again. But honestly, doesn't that happen in every romance novel, modern romance novel, or rom-coms? There's always going to be those scenes that are supposed to be like, oh my gosh, you know, but deep down, you know, like that would never happen. So yeah, it's kind of like that type of vibe, but I did enjoy the characters in Love on the Brain. I found the main character to be really edgy and fun. B was described more as petite and little and, you know, all those things. But what I did love from the character was it was a female in science that wasn't afraid to just be herself. She has pink hair. She loves wearing her own edgy style, and she isn't like dragging herself for it or being like, oh my gosh, I need to be more professional or whatever. Like, she's just very chill, casual, and I really enjoyed that. I really did like her character and how fun she was. Now, Levi is just supposed to kind of just be, I feel like his character was so uptight, but I feel like she did that for a reason, because you're supposed to view him as their like enemies, whatever. I feel like besides what I've already mentioned, the only other critiques I had with this and why I gave it a 4 for my rating was the miscommunication, which really frustrates me in books. This one didn't frustrate me as bad as others, but it still did to some level, and mainly from B. Like, I felt like, I mean, I can't just blame it on her. Both characters. B constantly is just like, it's almost like you feel like she's falling for him, but almost the whole time she's just like, you know, we're enemies, or, you know, that can never happen because we're enemies, or, but you would never look at me that way. And like, I don't know, just constantly that, just like, he doesn't like me, where then it's like he tries to like be like, no, you got this wrong. And then it's like she interrupts him, and then the whole conversation's dropped. He doesn't think like, oh, maybe I should clear the air on that, you know? So you just kind of like have that back and forth, and a little bit too much than I would have wanted. I think maybe 1-2 run-ins like that, just to get the point across that there's supposed to be some confusion here, and they're enemies to lovers and past, you know, conflicts and stuff like that, but it just went a little too far for me. Besides that, there's a little bit of spice. I didn't think it was like anything too crazy, but again, it's been a minute since I've read it, so I'm trying to actually fully remember. I do think there was like a couple moments where I was just like, okay. But overall, I liked them together, and I liked their story, and yeah, I just had some critiques. So then fast forward to January, and I read The Love Hypothesis.
No chance, you catch me down bad. P90, aim straight for
which
your
actually
head.
came out before, I think 2021. I think it was the year before Love on the Brain. It is another one that deals with people in science, STEM, who are very intelligent. And one thing I do want to note here between both books is I have seen people review them and say, I feel like the protagonists in these, actually both of them, I feel like sometimes with the confusion and like that interlapping, like, you know, there's obvious signs that the other one has feelings for them and they're just not clearly seeing them, and I'm like, you guys are supposed to be like geniuses. Like, how are you not seeing these like signs? And it was more so in Love on the Brain than The Love Hypothesis, but it still is a little bit in this one as well. But I liked Love Hypothesis a little bit more than Love on the Brain. I actually did. I liked these characters a little bit more. I guess their story a little bit more. I felt like this story was a little bit more realistic than Love on the Brain, because Love on the Brain made it like out to be like this like crazy like invention type thing that they're making, and you know, for NASA and all of this, where this kind of just talks about this girl Olive, who is still kind of like going for what she wants to be, and it's talking about how he is like a professor that's like teaching at the school, and I know some people are kind of cringe at that she's a student, he's a professor, but they're all adults, and he is not and has never been one of her own professors, so it is still kind of weird, but at the same time, like, I can see where it's kind of like whatever, because like they're all adults, and it's not in a way that I feel like he's like really going for her either, but this pretty much is a story of fake dating. That's honestly what it is. And you know, I've had some run-in with fake dating books, and they just were never my cup of tea, but Hazelwood really made it work with this, and I quite enjoyed it. It starts with an awkward run-in of them that is very unrealistic and just kind of cheesy in a way, but it just, I don't know, it kind of just made my heart burst a little bit, because it really did remind me of those moments and those, you know, cheesy but so cute moments in a rom-com movie that you absolutely love, and that really makes it be what it is. And I think that's why I liked it so much. I just thought it was really cute. I know it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I do find her writing style to be really fun. Maybe not like most detailed ever, but I do find it fun. It's a page turner. I feel like it's so enjoyable to read. And it just gets to a point where you're just flipping and you don't want to put it down. It's just one more chapter, one more chapter. I also loved that the beginning of the chapters with this one kind of gives a little bit of it's almost like a little bit of a teaser of what you're going to get in that chapter, and it's so cute. I don't want to give anything away by reading it, but like, you know, any rumor regarding my love life will spread at the speed of that is directly proportional to my desire to keep said rumor a secret. So, you know, like, this is the chapter where the rumors are going to be flying and things are going to start kind of getting juicy in a way. Yeah. So like I said about that like cheesy rom-com but so cute, and like the parts in the movies that you always remember, I feel like there's so many in this book that I found myself being like, this is so strange that I am loving this so much, because usually in books like this where there's parts like this, I just kind of cringe and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is so, like, this would never happen. It's just, it's cheesy, but I don't know, she has a way with me of really making it work and making it super cute, and a story that, again, I was just cheesing all the way through and was like, this is so cute. Maybe it's, I have a thing for the whole science trope of people being together. I don't know. Olive, I feel like, is another fun character, and we follow her point of view. She's kind of all over the place and very relatable at just, you know, trying to scrape by in life, but at the same time really going for her dreams, and she doesn't want to give up on her dreams, and she's second guessing herself, and she's having that self-doubt that I feel like really makes her so vulnerable and just really relatable as a character. Now, I do have to say, Adam, our male lead, is very, very much so just like Levi. The two characters, I think maybe are Hazelwood's like her thing. Like, I think that's what that's her type, and I'm just assuming here, but they are so similar that I'm just like, this just must be her type, you know, because they're just, it's literally like the same person. But with this one, we have the fake dating, like I said, but it's almost like it turns like enemies to lovers. Like, she feels like she's not supposed to like him. Like, he's kind of like known to be like the jerk professor. So yeah, we kind of get to see him like open up, come out of his shell a little bit and explain his side. And I don't know, I think it all wrapped up really well. It was again, another enjoyable page turner by Hazelwood. And I don't know, it's just really making me excited to pick up another one. I know that she just released this year a book of like a collection, I think of like 3 books. So I actually think I'm going to pick it up and read one of those books to finish out this video for you guys, because yeah, after I read Love on the Brain, I was simmering on it and I was like, I want to sit down and do a 3 books by Hazelwood. So yeah, let me know if you guys have read The Love Hypothesis or Love on the Brain, or what your thoughts are. I think we're gonna have a lot of mixed opinions, and that is completely okay. I would just love to know your thoughts on them. But so far, out of all the rom-coms that I have been reading, I just found hers maybe not my top favorite, but enjoyable nonetheless. Okay, so I last left you guys in January. We are now February. It's the month of love. And I'm here to wrap up this video because I read my 3rd book by Hazelwood. So I was going through and I knew that The Love Hypothesis, I believe anyways, is her first book. I knew that she didn't have too many and that she is a more recent known author. She wrote 3 stories that are also romance and STEM in 2022 as well. And then she released all of them. I believe you can get them all separately, maybe? I'm not really sure. I know you can on Kindle, but then she put them all 3 together in one book, and it's the Loathe to Love You. And so I had to pick it up. I had to. So freaking cute. And I do know she has another book coming out this summer in 2023. So I'm excited for that one because you guys, I think I found my romance niche. I think I found it. Like, this is the type of romance I think I like. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. Now, I had talked about The Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain. The Love Hypothesis is hands down my favorite. So I guess I'm ranking now. Then I would say Love on the Brain. And then in last place is definitely Under One Roof, which are these 2 right here. Super, super cute. And that's the first thing I want to say, is that I love that we're seeing different characters represented. It's super, super cute. And I really hope that she continues that. I hope that we get some more of that in her future books, because I felt like the characters, the girls were a little different, and I kind of mentioned that the girls were a little different in The Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain, but they were still pretty similar, and the guys were like literally like the same people. So I like to see a little bit of a change here. But although this guy in Under One Roof, his name is Liam, he is described a little bit differently as well, like when it comes to looks and stuff like that, but at the same time, I kind of feel like her descriptions are all very similar when it comes to the men characters. So I'm kind of hoping there is like a little bit more of like different descriptors, I guess, and the coming ones, because I still have 2 more books in this. They are short stories, so they're only like a little like over 100 pages each. Really fast to get through each one, but I read Under One Roof. It's the first one in this, and I really like the characters, Liam and Mara, but at the same time, the concept of the story, I think I actually would have loved a full-on novel from her. But at the same time, as I continued to read it, I was like, I don't know. I think this actually works. I think this short story actually works for these people, because I don't really know if I would have loved that long period that I know would have just been like miscommunication, dragging things out, to where with it being a little over 100 pages, I feel like it was like perfect. She lined it up perfectly, and what this story is about, without giving too much away, because it kind of will just like give the whole plot away, but it is a close proximity, so just keep that in mind. But these two in different situations in life now own, like, he owns half and she owns the other half of a house. And now they're like living together. So it's like that forced proximity almost. Sure, they could have found ways to like get around it or whatever, but like he's stubborn, he wants to stay at the house, and she is, for one, moving tight on cash and is, you know, starting a new job and stuff. So she's like, this is what I have. This is what I'm going to have to do. So you do kind of get a little bit of that like forced proximity. And then also one of my other favorite tropes, the like enemies to lovers going on. So yeah, it's just kind of like learning their dynamic. With each chapter, it kind of fast forwards into time. What I also loved is that the beginning of it starts with like the present, and then you rewind, and I love that in a story as well. Kind of give you a little bit of like a tease or like a sneak peek as what to come, you know. It was overall really, really cute. It's fast paced, but at the same time, it just makes it an enjoyable short read, just like a casual. I feel like this is like perfect for like a weekend read to just pick up here and there and finish an entire story in one weekend. I also love the factors that you have in this of Mara, who is working again in STEM and being surrounded with a bunch of men that kind of degrade her, and whenever she has an idea and proposes the idea, it's shot down really quickly. So you kind of see like that dynamic too, which I feel like Allie Hazelwood does a really good job of pointing that out, of careers that are men-based and how hard it is to be a woman in a mostly men-based career, and how hard they have to like fight for their voice, to be heard, and even to, you know, get better jobs or promotions and that type of ordeal. So I really love that she does highlight that and sheds light on it some. It was really cute. There's a little bit of spice. Besides that, yeah, I actually really liked it. I just thought it was a really cute progression of a story. Yeah. The other really cool thing about this set of novellas is the fact that in this story, when Mara gets on the phone to FaceTime one of her girlfriends, we find out very quickly that they're all in STEM and that they're all working different scientific jobs. And one of them we keep hearing about is like working like to where her service is really bad, and I think it's like for NASA or something, and she's like, I think at one point it said like she was like is probably out on an iceberg somewhere or something like that. And one of these stories is called Below Zero. And then the other one, I'm pretty sure it talks about her being in New York, and that's what stuck with you. It's a woman that's in New York. So I just think that's really cute that they're all three kind of like linked. So you find out, or I started to, this might be common knowledge for a lot of people who know Allie Hazelwood's work, but I didn't put it all together. I really just thought it was just romance and STEM novellas that didn't have any connection, but they actually have a connection because the three girls are friends. So the three girls one from each story, they're friends, so they kind of all intertwine. And then if you pick up this book or get it on Kindle, there is also a bonus chapter at the very end, and it has all of the characters in the bonus chapter. So you have to wait till you read all three books to get to the bonus chapter, but I'm excited to keep reading it, and I'm actually going to because I am currently doing a readathon for Valentine's, the X's and O's readathon. So stay tuned because I have been vlogging it, so yeah. Or if you want to join along with the X's and O's readathon, I will have it linked down below. The video announcement link down below, so you can go to Jess's channel and check out the introduction if you want to jump in, if I get this video up in time for that. But 3 books by Allie Hazelwood. I've made it, and I did not expect this going into it. I really didn't. And I can understand why some of her books are ranked lower for some people. I feel like they're ranked pretty high for people who are used to rom-coms, romance, and that's just their vibe. But I feel like for people who just kind of dabble in romance a little bit here and there, they probably would be like, ugh, 3-star, you know, that type of ordeal. I think for me, she just does the tropes so well for me. And yes, there is critiques that I have with certain spicy scenes or with how characters are sometimes described. I'm like, with it being so STEM heavy, I kind of wish that there was a little bit more there as far as like the brains situation, like thinking like, oh, you know, he's so smart and so charming, and instead of like the random but at the same time sometimes constant remarks of just like appearances. So I wish for a little bit more depth in her stories, I guess, when it comes to those things, that like intimacy. But I really like how she gradually builds, and I also love that every story has a plot that goes with it. It's not just the romance, but at the same time you do have like the rom-com there, because so far just about every single couple that I have read out of these 3 books, there was like some type of like banter between the couples, and she's so quirky and funny that it just really works with her characters. Yeah, I just really like it. I would have to say though, I just placed my book of the month order. And I picked like a book for this month, but then I have like some extra credits. So I picked up The Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain, because those were 2 that I just checked out at the library. But I'm gonna own all of her books because this is a romance that works for me. And I actually think I would read at least The Love Hypothesis again soon, because it was just so cute. I really, really liked it. Like I said, Love Hypothesis is my favorite. I think Love on the Brain is good too. It's cute. I just don't think it was as good as The Love Hypothesis, or just very similar in some ways. So it would be ranked 2 and then Under One Roof. But we'll see after I read Stuck With You and Below Zero too, because they might be some winners for me as well. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you guys like this type of video. It's just like really cool, especially when it's a new author for me, or get an idea of their work, their writing style, the tropes they kind of like stick to or that they like to, you know, dabble in, and also their character development, everything. It's just like really fun, and especially when like the first one is so good. And then you read the next. So this one shocked me because I read Love on the Brain first, and then I went to The Love Hypothesis, and I was like, I love that one even more. So I've just been really excited for this video for sure, of reading 3 from her, and I really have stayed in it because they've just been so cute. More book videos are coming though. We're doing romance all month long. Also, I've been posting a lot more on my Instagram, my like lifestyle or personal one, and it is just AllisonHunt_2. If you guys want to follow me there, I've been posting book content as well there. So yeah, check it out. Yeah, let me know what books from Ally Hazelwood you love down below, or what is your favorite book from her that you've read, what you think of it. I would love to know. And yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys in my next video.
Just like that, feel like I'm hexed. Yeah, that bitch bad, collar on her neck and her ass real fat, yeah. She keep on saying that she never had a nigga like this. Says shake it up, still the realest nigga.